Hi guys, Tina here, back again, and this is part 2 of Ken the Bug Guy's unboxing. And right now, you're looking at my girl Kendra. She is so sweet, and I couldn't be happier with everything about Ken the Bug Guy. Service is excellent, and they got here just fine, and all I've really done is just stare at them, and they've both eaten a fly. I'm just so mesmerized, and they do these little waves that are just so cute. I mean, I never thought I'd own one, and I can't thank Ken enough. And I did want to show you the enclosures. Yes, they finally did get put together, and it wasn't hard at all. And I do love them. I love these enclosures. They are great. And are you coming to the top to say hey? Hey, Kendra. Hey, sweetie. Or you want another fly? If anyone knows how many flies that a jumping spider this size needs to eat, please leave it in the comments. She's had one and did pounce on it very well, and that was fun to watch too. It was great. And I see them little, look at that face. Oh my god. Hey. Hey, little girl. Hey, little girl. Oh, you're precious. I mean, what is not to love, y'all, really? I mean, how could you not love this? Hey! Ken, you're awesome. You've made me so happy. She is so wonderful. And I know there's a lot of big YouTubers out there, and their video quality is a lot better than mine. I haven't learned YouTube that good yet. As most of you know, my thing is still photography, but I'm learning, and I'm not going to give up. Oh my god, I just words escape me. I mean, I'm mesmerized. And of course you see you see my little student back there. She always has to look at what mommy's doing. And wow, Kenneth has those green fangs. He's awesome. Yeah, I did just want to make the part 2 of the Ken the Bug Guy unboxing. I had a helper with my camera yesterday, and he's not a camera guy, so he was trying to learn my camera, and that's not an easy thing to do. So I'm trying to get really good shots for you guys here. Sit down, Miss Miley. But yep, there's our 2 P. Regis. I believe I said Regalis or something on the first video. I was incorrect, but proper names are still a little bit tricky for me. I still can't say some of the scientific names of the tarantulas I have. I will be trying to do a feeding video tonight because it's feeding night. But I did want you to see these guys and see what wonderful, wonderful little creatures Ken the Bug Guy provided me with. I can't get over. It's almost hard to tell. Oops. It's almost hard to tell if the fangs are green. Sometimes they look blue. Today they're looking green. But either way, I'm in love. And that's it. I'm in love, guys. What else can you say? Love is love, right? Love makes the world go round. And these little creatures will make you fall in love. Look at that face. Oh my goodness. Hey. Say hey, Kendra. And I will be getting a macro lens. And I am getting a new phone. And they are being kept side by side because I will be breeding them when they're bigger. But again, if anybody knows if they need 1 fly, 2 flies, or 3 flies every so many days, I'm thinking they get fed about every, from what I've studied, 2 to 4 days. There's different opinions on YouTube. A lot of them, I might add. But I would like to know if they need another fly or two. And these are small house flies that were sent to me. So please leave it in the comments if you do know. Yep, you can see those fangs on Kenneth. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, because I certainly have, and I will keep enjoying this. And jumping spiders is something that I will be keeping in. Look at those fangs. Oh my gosh. Yeah, practice that little waving, because when you go to breed, you're going to need to do a little dance. You go, Kenneth. Too cute for color TV, but I'm glad it's in color. Alright, guys, as usual, love and hugs.
He's not like a baby, but you know, he's still pretty young. And as he gets bigger, I don't think I'll need to size up, but you know, I might spoil him. And I don't, but again, you don't want to make sure the cage is too big, because I've already thought I lost him, and he just likes to crawl in the moss. This door does open sideways, which is good, because this is the first cage I bought, and as you can tell, it is much bigger, and it's a top latch, which is not good, because jumping spiders like to make their nests up in the corner, and that's where his is. And I found him in my car, and usually if I'm planning on getting a new pet, I'm going to be prepared and have the research. Well, I got emotionally attached, and I went to Petco, which is, I know, really isn't my store of choice, because I don't really like how they treat animals, but it was a little emergency, and I didn't want to put him in a cup for a few days with, air holes. I just didn't want to do that to him, and so I did some research, and I'm still learning. But from what I've learned, top latches, not a good thing to have. So if you're interested in buying a jumping spider and finding a cage like this, it has a side latch, which is perfect. Only problems are, and this is for really small spiders. I don't know much about breeding. I'm never gonna do it because I'm sure it costs a lot of money, and I'm interested in just having this little guy for now. But if you have any spider that is smaller, there are some gaps besides the breathing holes. So I know some cages on Etsy will have the mesh, which I think is actually better because, as you can tell, he can't fit through these, but it doesn't mean any spider that's smaller can't, because I'm sure they can squeeze their way through, and he does, because I've seen him squeeze himself into tight little spaces. But luckily, this is good. In fact, I'm going to show you a size comparison to my finger, and if you have a spider that's any smaller, before I continue, I really wouldn't recommend this product, because I don't want you to lose your baby. Oh, he just hopped in the moss. Okay, well, he is, sorry, he's like almost as big as my fingernail, so he's still pretty small. And with that size comparison, I'm going to show you some 2 gaps that I'm mostly worried about, or kind of worried about. But it's not really a problem for me, but it may be a problem for you if you have a tiny little guy. So as you can tell, this is really small. And it's like for the top latch that you put it in here, and then you put this in and it kind of blocks it. That's not much of a problem. If you left this open and you have a small little guy, it would probably escape, because if there's a will, there's a way, and they will squeeze themselves through it. So I always keep this like this. It's a little bit difficult to put in sometimes with one hand, so I'm gonna just do that real quick. Okay. Here are other gaps I'm worried about, kind of, but not really. Is these right here. There is like the wall kind of blocking it, so it's fine. But if you have a baby that's any smaller, it may escape. He does not, but I don't mess around with it. And what I do is I get painter's tape, and I make sure that this is what I do. I tape both sides, so like, you know, here's the sticky side, here's the other sticky side, and I tape them together so that there's no sticky side. And then I put it on the hole, but then I get another piece of tape and I tape the side. So there's no sticky sides like in the hole, because even though it's painter's tape and I like put it on my sweater to make sure it's like no longer as sticky, I don't want to hurt him, because, you know, he's just a baby. Another problem that I have noticed, and as you can tell from him struggling to climb, is that it can be a little bit slippery. Oh, okay, well that was my fault. I moved the cage and he got spooked. I know he's angry with me. But the cage can be a little bit slippery, because I guess it's like made out of this like plastic material. And if you have a baby like him, he may, your little guy may struggle to climb, especially when you're spraying water for them to drink. I make sure I always do it like right here, so that it's not near his nest and it's near the bottom, so he doesn't like fall or whatever. But he rarely struggles to climb it. That's also because, as you can tell, I give him a lot of climbing material. So yeah, that's about it though.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to open with one hand. You can see Daisy in there. She's quite happy. She's made her nest. And she has lined all of the walls with silk, so now she can climb around and she doesn't fall anymore. I don't see any gaps anywhere. I don't, like this isn't something she could crawl out of. This, you know, as soon as I close this properly, there's not actually a gap there. I mean, like tiny right here, but there is no way, unless you are trying to bring up some baby bold jumpers, you should be fine. See, no gaps here. I don't see gaps anywhere. Again, here venting, but not large enough for a regal or bold jumper to escape out of, if that's why you would be buying this enclosure. Yeah.
So I had originally gotten this enclosure for a spiderling that I had gotten, a pink-toed tarantula. It's currently finishing his food. But as you can see, I've had to put multitudes of layers of tape. Don't worry, none of it is sticky, so I can't get stuck on it. But I had to pretty much do like a DIY of blocking the spacing that was inevitably there. and as well as the spacing at the top and a little bit of the cross ventilations. Unfortunately, he had escaped about a few days ago, but we were able to catch him actually the same day and found him on our ceiling. So ever since doing this, he hasn't been able to escape, but I always fear he will. But it is a good enclosure for a starter animal. I probably wouldn't recommend it for something that is like roughly about 1/3 inch. Probably something that is like an adult jumping spider size and bigger.
So this is where I covered up the ventilation because I just feel that they could have got through there, and then there's these like little bitty gaps. You can barely see it, but you see how the door moves. Also on the side where Latch, see that little hole? So my little ones could get through that. And then also on top, if you don't close this, it leaves a bit like a hole. Also on one of my other ones, this little latch part kind of popped off of my enclosure. It's really not that big though. Like about the size of my hand, and I have a pretty small hand. So yeah.